Hey guys, Vic from Airvol here, your trusted Canadian CPAP supplier. And in today's video, I'm going to go over what you can do to make your CPAP therapy more comfortable, more accessible, and make sure that you have a smooth experience with it. So let's go over that topic right now. So starting off with accessibility of CPAP therapy, let's talk about some accessories to keep in mind. So most CPAP machines, like the Lowenstein device that I have here, do come with the option of a heated humidifier. Okay, so for example, on the Lowenstein device, you could technically use just the flow generator itself, which is the main part of CPAP therapy. This is what provides you the air pressure that you need to treat your apnea. However, using a heated humidifier with this tends to make a world of a difference, as this will help infuse the air that you're receiving with a bit of heat and moisture to avoid some of the negative common symptoms of CPAP therapy like dryness or congestion. Because you're getting constant airflow, and if you're also in a room that has low ambient humidity or a lot of dryness, if you're just using CPAP therapy without a heated humidifier, it could cause issues like congestion or dryness. For example, if you may wake up mid-therapy having to need to get a glass of water or feeling like your tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth, these are all indication that your CPAP therapy is running too dry. Okay, so in general, I always recommend to have your heated humidifier integrated with your device. And if you don't need a lot of humidity, typically a humidifier is adjustable. You could adjust it down to the lowest setting, see how you feel, and increase it by one level at a time based on how you respond to it. You could also have your humidifier turned off but still filled with water, so you're receiving some cold passover humidity, so the air is not completely dry. In general, whenever you can, try to make sure you have your humidifier integrated so you're getting a bit of moisture with the air that you're breathing. Okay. Now, on the flip side, if you're traveling, maybe you're going someplace where the ambient humidity is already quite high and you don't really need a humidifier where you're going. And in this case, the humidifier literally makes your device twice as big. Well, most devices like this Lowenstein, you can actually separate the humidifier. You can get what's called a side cover to cap the humidifier side of your device. And now you made your device essentially half the size. So you can just take this with you for your convenient travels. Even ResMed devices like the popular AirSense 10 and AirSense 11 have side cover options available, so you don't have to take that bulky water canister and instead just cap the side of the machine. And these products are available on our website at airvol.ca. Okay. Another accessory to keep in mind that helps make your therapy a bit better is heated hose options. So for example, I have the Cozy Line heated tubing here for the Lowenstein device. If you're using a Philips DreamStation 2, they have their own heated hose. If you're using a ResMed AirSense 10 or 11, they have their heated tubing as well. So what does the heated tubing do? The heated tubing doesn't make your air actually hot. What it is a tubing with insulative properties that keeps the insulation of the tubing constant. So from the machine to the mask where you're receiving air, it keeps the tube insulated so that you don't have a lot of temperature loss as the air is moving from one end to the other. If you're losing too much temperature, for example, if you have a fan blowing at you locally or you're sleeping in a very cool air-conditioned room, this could cause a great amount of condensation buildup in the length of your hose over time as therapy goes on, as cooler air can't hold as much moisture. So if you're using a humidifier and you're in a very cold space and you're getting a lot of condensation buildup in your tubing, you'll be able to tell because eventually your tubing will make a rattling or a popping noise. If you're hearing this, this is a phenomenon called rainout, where you have too much condensation that is built up in your tube and the incoming air pressure of your machine is causing it to be noisy. In cases like this, to remedy that situation, all you would need is to either switch over to a heated tubing that will get you better insulation. Alternatively, if you want to make your regular heat tubing work, you could get what's called a hose wrap or a hose cover, which is essentially a material that's like a sock that goes over the length of your tubing to provide it with some extra insulation. So that's something to keep in mind if you do require a good level of humidity for comfort, but you're finding that a lot of that ends up condensing in your tube and you're not actually receiving it to your air pressure. You could then switch over to either a heated hose or a hose wrap to better accommodate your humidity needs for the device. Okay. Another accessory that can also help with your accessibility and your setup at home with CPAP therapy is something called a hose lift. Of course, these tubings, they are very flexible. They're about 6.5 feet long. And a lot of times patients might find it a little bit annoying to have to wrestle with the tubing or organize the tubing in their bed space during therapy. Ideally, when you go to sleep, you don't really want to think about all this stuff when you're going to bed. Products like a hose lift oftentimes will even come with a clamp that fits on your bed board, and it will literally hold your tubing up so that it's out of the way and not someplace where you can grab it and maybe even inadvertently take off your therapy. So hose lifts are also available on our website. You can check those out or ask us about more questions regarding them. And that's another good product to help make your therapy a little bit more accommodating. Another product that I usually recommend customers to keep in mind is something called a chin strap. So usually most CPAP users will start off on a small nasal mask with therapy just to see if they can get used to nose breathing with the device and maybe stop any mouth breathing that they had from before. And in a lot of cases with CPAP therapy, your mouth breathing can very well stop and you can kind of train yourself to just nose breathe. But in some cases, you might need extra assistance with a product like a chin strap or even mouth tape to help reduce the amount of mouth breathing that happens with CPAP therapy. If you're using a CPAP device with a nose-only mask like the Nova Nasal here, and you end up opening your mouth a little bit, because our nasal and our oral passages are connected, you're going to have a bit of air loss from the air pressure coming into the device. A little bit of air loss is okay, but over time, if this happens pretty much the entire night, you might get a lot of dryness in your mouth, especially because the air pressure will be pushing out air, causing high air leaks, and you'll also be not receiving as much of the moisture from the device. You'll be losing a lot of that moisture to the environment through the mouth breathing. So if you're getting a very dry mouth, but your data overall in your device looks okay, like your events per hour are low, but you're noticing a bit of high leakage and very dry mouth, typically, if you want to make your nasal mask work, you can add a chin strap to help keep a little bit of tension in your jaw and help facilitate your mouth being closed, or a fabric mouth tape that just goes over your lips, where even if your mouth opens a little bit, the idea is because of the gradient of the tape, you're not losing as much air pressure into the environment as before. So these products can help accommodate your nasal mask. Of course, if you don't like the idea of having multiple products on, like a mouth tape, a chin strap, and a CPAP mask, then you could also just switch over to what's called a full face CPAP mask that provides a seal to both your nose and your mouth. Usually a full face mask would seat right below your bottom lip, between your chin and your bottom lip, and this helps keep your mouth closed during therapy. In some cases, it might be wise to have two different masks. You could have your nasal mask as your primary and your full face mask as a secondary mask during times in which your nasal passages might be compromised. For example, if you have a cold or allergies, maybe you had some sort of surgery also that could have compromised your nasal passages. In cases like that, a full face mask is a more practical mask to use with CPAP therapy. Okay, so those are accessories that you can keep in mind to help make your therapy a bit more comfortable. In terms of tips to just get used to your CPAP therapy itself, it's recommended for first-time users when they get their machine to not just wait for nighttime to use their device. In fact, when you have a little bit of downtime during the day, like 5-10 minutes, feel free to put on your device and turn on your machine before you even go to bed. There's no harm in using your CPAP device when you're awake, and it can help a lot to get used to the sensation of the air pressure, the feel of the mask before you actually go to bed and do a little bit of practice run on the equipment. So just 5, 10, 15 minutes at a time during the day can potentially lead to extra hours of compliance at nighttime when you finally start using your CPAP device. Rather than putting it on for the first time during a sensitive moment when you're about to go to sleep, that could potentially interrupt your entire night's sleep. Try using the equipment beforehand, get used to the sensation of the breathing. The most common complaint that people have is the sensation of an exhale is a little bit strange with CPAP therapy because even when you're breathing out, there is some air pressure coming from the device. You might feel the need to breathe out as hard as the incoming air pressure of the machine, but you actually don't need to do so. All CPAP masks have exhaust ports that are constantly releasing air. And the way that you breathe out should just be a normal exhalation. You kind of want to trust the incoming pressure even during the exhalation phase and just breathe out normally and calmly. When you're able to achieve this, then you're on a good step towards being fully compliant with your CPAP therapy and getting used to the air pressure when you're actually sleeping with it. Okay, so those are kind of little tricks you can do there just to get used to your therapy. In terms of the settings of your device, there are comfort settings like ramp and EPR that can really make your therapy more manageable. So ramp is a comfort setting where you can get your device to start at a pressure lower than your prescription, and it will stay there for a period of time and ramp up to your prescription pressure when you're actually ready for it. So devices like a ResMed AirSense 10 and 11, for example, have an auto ramp feature where the device will kind of sense where you're falling asleep and then automatically ramp up to your prescription from that low pressure. And if they don't have an auto ramp, most devices have a time-based ramp that works really well, where you can set it from 5 minutes up to 45 minutes of how long you want your device to start at a low pressure before it ramps up. This ramp setting is used by most new users, and it can help you get used to therapy. And then once you're used to therapy, where you find that you like your therapy prescription pressure, you can turn off that ramp setting so your device doesn't start too low. Okay. Now on that topic, how would you know if your pressure is too low or too high for you? Okay. In general, if your pressure feels too low, you're usually going to get symptoms that are similar to shortness of breath. So for example, you might not feel like you're getting a full breath of air with the unit. If you're feeling like you're waiting for the machine to really come on, maybe at times you're even pulling the mask away from your face to see if you're actually getting any air. These are all indications that you're used to your pressure and you don't like it starting really that low. So if you have a ramp on and you're experiencing this, turn off your ramp setting, allow your device to go right up to prescription, and you should feel a lot better. On the flip side, if your pressure is too strong for you, you might feel like you're breathing too rapidly with the machine. As well, you might notice that you sometimes wake up with bloating sensations. So in cases like this, if the pressure is too high, an individual might actually swallow some of that air, and this results in a bit of a bloating sensation. So if you notice any kind of bloating, it typically means that you're not quite used to your pressure yet. And in cases like this, you can either increase the amount of ramp time that you have to get better used to it, or you could also look into the setting called exhale pressure relief, or EPR on ResMed devices. Philips devices might call it C-Flex, and on the Lowenstein device, it's called soft PAP. There's different terms depending on the manufacturer of the device, but essentially this is a setting that drops your pressure for the exhalation phase. You can activate this setting on your device to give you a little bit of a relief when you're breathing out, and this could help with those symptoms like swallowing some of the air. Alternatively, you could also try to communicate your symptoms to your sleep clinic that sets you up on the device or your sleep physician, and they can then look into adjusting your prescription based on the data points that your machine has recorded. So typically they'll review how many apneas that you're experiencing at current settings, and if there is room to decrease your pressure based on your feedback, they would then recommend a lower setting, set it on your device, and then you would try that out for a period of time to see how the data looks and responds. So these are settings that you can keep in mind to help make your therapy a little bit more comfortable. So further along with the settings, another thing about your CPAP device that can help make therapy better for you is the fact that all these devices record data, and most of this data can actually be accessed wirelessly on these newer models. So typically when you buy a machine, there are support services that you're getting with it. So feel free to contact the vendor that you purchased from. They should be able to assess your data on the equipment and even help suggest changes to your settings based on feedback that you have, or at the very least communicate your feedback and your data points to your physician who could recommend those setting changes. So that is also typically something to keep in mind with this. Okay. Lastly, I also wanted to talk about the type of mask. The type of mask that you get with your CPAP therapy tends to be very closely related to how comfortable it's going to end up being. Choosing a machine is usually quite simple. There are different manufacturers that make the similar type of devices. You could usually go for any of them, and as long as the settings on it are done appropriately, you're okay. However, there's many different types of masks in the market. There's dozens of different styles of masks as well. So in general, if you're a first-time user looking to get into CPAP therapy, there's a few masks that I would recommend to keep an eye out. So masks that have what are called a fit pack or a starter pack should be more of a priority. So starter pack or a fit pack is a mask that comes with all the sizes in the package. So especially if you're ordering a mask online and you may not have the tools to really measure and choose the right size, choosing a fit pack keeps you on the safe side. A lot of times individuals get a mask that's not their right size and they try to force that to make it work for them, and that causes a lot of discomfort with their therapy. If you get a mask that has a fit pack, you have all the sizes in the package, and the room for error is a lot greater there because you can at least swap out sizes and then see which one works the best for you. Another thing to keep in mind is most mask manufacturers have a mask guarantee program where they allow an exchange usually within a month of the purchase. So contact the vendor that you're buying from and ask them if this is something that is possible. Because with CPAP therapy, there does tend to be a little bit of trial and error to detect which mask works the best for you. So there are some masks that work better for other individuals, and you might have to try one to see how it goes for you before you decide on a CPAP mask. So usually a mask can be exchanged within a month, and make sure you contact your vendor about that for more information. Some places might even have trial options for masks, and you can look into doing that as well before committing to one and purchasing one itself. And now there are also different types of masks depending on how you sleep. There are masks where the tube connection comes on the top of the head, not from the top of the head, from the front of the mask, just like this one over here. You can also get mask options where the tube adapter is actually on a swivel on the top of the head, so the hose is kind of out of the way. So individuals that move around a lot at night or side sleep a lot might actually want to consider a top of the head tubing connection mask. But if you want something just with a lighter assembly, the ones with the front tubing tend to be a little bit smaller in terms of their frame size. So these are also things to keep in mind when selecting your right mask. If it's your very first time getting a mask, it's usually recommended to contact the store that you're interested in buying from. That way the staff can ask you a couple of questions to gauge how you normally breathe and how you normally sleep, and then give you an appropriate recommendation based on that. So basically, to tie it all together, with CPAP therapy, you have accessories like your humidifier, heated tubing, chin strap to help make therapy a bit more comfortable for you and more accessible for you. There are setting adjustments like your ramp, your EPR, as well as the wireless support services you have built in on the device to help make the settings itself of your device more suitable for you and get assistance and guidance on how to adjust those settings, as well as a variety of mask options to consider based on how you sleep. Okay, we hope you found this video helpful. If you had any questions or concerns, feel free to comment down below, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you around for next time.